So many of you are here because you are already interested in studying or are supporting somebody else in an application to study at GWC. And so I'm going to go through the application process briefly with you all, and then we will have some time of questions. So our applications for 2025 will be available on the online portal on Monday. As we speak now, the feature is being finalized and you will be able to access the applications online on Monday. You can apply for all of our study options, the study options I referred to earlier in the presentation, except for Explore. Explore has a different application process, but all the other study options are available on the online portal. Okay, and I've summarized the process here for you, and I'm going to talk briefly through a couple of the steps here. You will not be able to proceed in the application process unless you have all the documents that are required for the process, and therefore we encourage you from the beginning to prepare all the documents you will need. We've provided a list of required documents on our website, and following this presentation, we will email you with a pack of all the required documents. And so you shouldn't get stuck at any point with trying to understand what is available and where the resources are. Another moment that you will be reminded about the required documents is when you start the application process, a screen will pop up to remind you which documents are required. So please start the application process with all your documents ready in digital form for you to upload. Your required documents are fairly straightforward. Any application process to a higher education institution would require these documents. It's personal documents like your ID or your passport, a photograph with a plain background, please, and making sure we can see your face, and then a set of academic documents, including all your academic transcripts, and these must be certified or notarized by a local certification officer. That is very important. So please make sure you get your academic and your ID and passport certified before you upload them onto the portal. For students whose first language is not English, we do require English proficiency results. The details of those results are explained in the prospectus. And then for postgraduate students, we require that your most recent qualification is evaluated by the South African Qualifications Authority. This can take up to 3 to 6 months. So it is very important for postgraduate students, foreign postgraduate students, to start this process very early. If you are not an international postgraduate student, this doesn't apply to you. This is only for international postgraduate students who have completed their qualifications in a non-South African country. The SAQA evaluation process is in place for us and the South African Qualifications Authority to evaluate your qualification against the South African qualification standards. Okay, so we need this certificate on file for postgraduate students. It's very important to start it early, and we have a lot of detailed information in our application packs to help you with this process. We are also able to help you via email, but we are not able to submit the application to SAQA for you. The rules are that the student has to apply directly to SAQA for that. Okay. So we will give you as much support as possible to get it done, but postgraduate students, you need to make sure you get that application off to SAQA as soon as possible. Okay, students interested in our postgraduate study options must also submit a research topic proposal and a piece of example work, which is an assignment or your most recent research project that you did in your most recent qualification. Other documents that you need to supply are financial documents, so declaring your income, giving us a sense of the budget you have in place and how you plan to cover your costs, okay? I will talk a little bit about GWC's bursary scheme in a couple of minutes, but every student, regardless of whether you're on a bursary or not, needs to provide a picture of how you're going to cover the costs to study at GWC. Okay, and then as part of your academic application, you will need to provide reference forms. Those are from your pastor, your current pastor, and then 2 other references from people who know you well. A mentor, a supervisor in your institution, a ministry leader in your local church. They must not be family members. We do not accept references from a family member. We know your family, love you a lot, but we need references from mentors, leaders, ministry leaders, and pastors. Okay. It's very important to submit good references, reliable references. They contribute to a quality application for studies at GWC. The reference forms are available in your resource pack, and you are required to send them directly to your referees. The referees will complete the reference forms and email them directly to us. That is the only document that must come directly to us from the referee. Okay, all the other documents in the application process, you will upload directly to the portal. Okay. So I'll say that one more time. Every document that you're supplying during the application process, you will need to upload on the online portal. The only document that comes directly to us via email is your reference forms directly from your referees. Okay. Those reference forms are confidential. They will not be shared with anybody else. They give us a sense of who you are, and they allow us to know that we are admitting students who are professing Christians and who will provide a very rich and encouraging learning environment on our campus. Okay, you can also upload medical certificates if this is applicable to your situation. If you have any learning disabilities or any physical disabilities that we need to take into account and that we need to accommodate during your learning at GWC, then you can upload those documents during the application process. Okay. We welcome applications from students with disabilities, and we will try as far as possible to accommodate any accommodations that students need. Right, so once you have all your documents in place and you are ready to start your application, you can go onto our website, onto the apply page, and start your application. There is a link there to our application portal. In order to start your application, you will need to create an account, and it'll look like the image reflected here. The screen will look like the image reflected here. So you set up your account and you can begin your application. If for some reason you are not getting emails directly into your inbox, please check your spam or junk mail. Sometimes it doesn't recognize the responses coming from the portal as reliable emails. And so the no reply at GWC emails might be going to your junk and spam mail. You should indicate to your email that you trust these emails, and then they should start coming to your inbox. But throughout your application process, please check your spam and junk mail in case the system is sending the emails to your junk and spam email box. Okay, if for some reason you experience any glitches in the application process, first try to reload the page and then re-perform the task you're trying to do. If there's a major problem, please email us at applications. We will give you those email addresses in the follow-up email to let us know that you are experiencing a problem, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. And then you'll be able to upload all your documents and complete all the sections of the application. So during the application process, we will be validating the documents you provide, and you will get notifications as we approve the documents that you have submitted to us. Okay, so you should be getting some feedback from us about how your application is going. Once we've assessed your application, you might be invited to complete an interview or an entrance assessment. An interview helps us to get to know you a bit better. You would usually meet with one of the members of faculty or one of the deans of students. An entrance assessment will help us to get to know you a little bit more academically. Okay, but you will get notice about those things during the application process if they are required. If you have already started an application to study at GWC, you will notice that the application portal feature is currently disabled as we release the new version of it for 2025. But once it is open, you should be able to go back into your portal and complete the application you already started. So I'm not anticipating that you would need to restart the application process. You should be able to just re-enter the portal and continue where you left off. Okay, if you submitted an application 6 months to a year ago, we require that you go back in and update certain elements of your application. The reason for that is you may have had some other form of ministry experience, or your thoughts might have changed or developed on why you want to study theology. And we'd love to know what you've been up to in the last 6 months to a year and how your thoughts have developed. So it's just a way of also staying up to date with where you are at this point. Okay. Once you've submitted an application and you've been accepted to study at GWC, you will be able to apply for a bursary if you require one. GWC's bursary cover partial costs of study. Therefore, you should be doing some form of fundraising, which I will talk a little bit about later. Okay, so once you've been accepted to study, and if you've indicated in your application that you would like to be considered for a bursary, we will email you an application pack for the bursary applications. Okay, the academic applications are handled through the Nexus portal. The bursary applications are handled via a separate email application pack. So you can expect that in your inbox after you've been accepted to study. Okay. If you are thinking you're going to need bursary funding for 2025, it's really important that as soon as possible after Monday, you get started on your application, you finish, and then you can receive the bursary application pack so that you can get started with that too. Once you've been accepted to study at GWC, you can also indicate if you would like to have accommodation on our campus. You will also need to then start applying for your visa if you're an international student. And we recommend that international students book their visa appointments in the days after the 21st of October. The reason for that is that is the week we release the bursary award letters, and many of our international students depend on bursary funding, and therefore you would need to start your visa application that very week. Please do not delay the visa application any later than the last week of October. Okay, we get very sad when international students are not able to join us because the visa application delayed them too much. Okay, our experience is that if international students are applying for visas at the end of November, then they often get delayed in coming and maybe have to defer a year. And we are all very disappointed in that case. So we really want to help you get those applications in as soon as you can. As I said, our bursary awards only cover some study fees. So they either cover accommodation or your tuition fees. And therefore, we encourage students to do as much fundraising as possible. We do have a document to give you some tips on how to fundraise well. You can also share the videos on our website and tell people about GWC in your churches and organizations. And once you have an acceptance letter, you can also use that to circulate to people who have prayed for you and who are interested in you coming to GWC. So please do your best and be assured that we are praying for you and for financial provision for you as you consider studying here. We know that this is a journey of faith, and we are just amazed to see how God has provided for so many students each year. Once you've been accepted and you are ready to accept your place at GWC, you will need to pay an acceptance deposit. And you can do all of this through the portal. So it will become clear to you as you go what fees are due, and you should be able to pay them through the portal. Okay. An acceptance deposit helps us to secure your place in the new year. And so it is very important that if you are planning to accept your place at GWC, that you pay the acceptance deposit.